Hello YouTube, welcome to my first ever video going up on this channel. I'm going to be crocheting a blanket for myself. I've already kind of started on it. I've got the width of it. I'm just going to be crocheting the length, and it's not going to be in one sitting, obviously, because I value my sanity way too much. It's going to be done over the course of a couple videos, maybe a couple of months in real life, maybe a couple of weeks, depending on how often I do this myself. So let's just start up with the crocheting. It's going to be just a simple blanket, double crochet. I don't know how many chains it was. I just measured it against my body to see if it would cover me, and it did. So that's how many chains that I made. And it's just, the length is just going to be as tall as me, so it's going to be 6 feet 4 inches. That's how tall I am. I might make it a little bit taller because I don't like blankets that are as tall as me. I need them a little bit bigger because I like to, I don't know, I just never like blankets that are taller than me. Also, I said these are double crochet. They're half double crochet. I just realized that while doing them, because I personally don't like double crochets. I prefer half double crochets. But if I had to choose one method that I hated the most, it's slip stitches. I hate slip stitches with a passion. But I just recently got into doing crochet, and I felt like recording myself while I crochet because I like to watch YouTube videos or like TV shows whenever I do crochet, and I feel like if my voice is soothing enough to some people, they could watch this while they do their crochets as well. But anyways, I originally started crocheting just to pass the time, because I like to pick up hobbies as I see them across various forms of social media, mostly on TikTok. That's where I see most of my inspiration for hobbies and such. But I remember there was this one time I was obsessed with metalwork, like anvils and furnaces and all that stuff. I wanted to do that. I was even looking up videos on how to like make a furnace in your backyard with just bricks and fire, and I was like, oh, I could totally do this. And then I'm just like, I'd probably end up setting my entire backyard on fire. So I decided against it, obviously. But the next hobby, the previous hobby that I had before this, I was very into glass painting. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. It's a glass painting that I made for my roommate before I moved in with her. But it's Morgana from League of Legends, if anyone knows that game. That's one of her mains, and she wanted me to make her that for her birthday, so I made it for her. But there's a handful of others. I'll throw up some photos right here so you can see all my other glass paintings that I've made for various different people. But now that I'm into crocheting, I just recently crocheted that same roommate that I made the glass painting for. I crocheted her a beanie for her birthday. She just gets all the free stuff, for real, like, not even gonna lie, because her birthday is was this past month, so I made it for her birthday. And at first I struggled because I had tried making it with wool yarn, and if anyone, as I've heard, anyone who uses wool yarn will tell you that wool yarn is quite possibly one of the worst yarns ever. But I tried it. I didn't enjoy it all too much, and then I switched over to acrylic, and I finished it all in one night, and it made me laugh because I was just like, I was struggling so much with wool yarn, and then I switched to acrylic and I finished it in one sitting. So now I decided to work on this blanket because I wanted something lengthy and something that would take a while to work on. So I decided to choose a blanket. Not all the videos are going to be me crocheting a blanket. I talked to one of my coworkers about how I crochet, and they wanted me to make them a little stuffed cow I told him it'll take me a while because I have to learn how to make stuffed animals first, because that's a whole another thing. Because right now I've only made clothing, quote unquote clothing, just a hat, and then little bracelets for my friends and I. But other than that, I can't wait to learn how to crochet more things. I want to make like shirts for me, because I'm a tall person, so I can't really buy my own clothes. So if I could learn how to make my own shirts, I would save myself money and the effort of going out on shopping trips. And then if possible, I could probably crochet like pants. I feel like crochet pants wouldn't really look too good because it's pants made out of like crochet. Like, who would really walk out wearing pants that look like this? Be honest. So I think I might just stick to crocheting me shirts, hoodies, stuff like that, and then just buying my pants. Oh, and blankets, because blankets in my size, I mean, blankets that cover me, it's only king size blankets, but like at the same time, I don't need all that blanket, you know, like that's too much blanket. So I just need enough. Ooh, or I could crochet a cape. I'm just spouting. I'm just saying whatever comes to my mind. I could crochet a cape. I could become Superman, make me a red cape. Batman, make me a black cape. But let's tell you more about myself. I'm 21. My birthday is next month, July 5th. I've been crocheting for just over 2 months, I want to say. As you can tell by me having to look at what I do, unlike all these professional crocheters who can do this without looking. I can chain without looking pretty well, but once it comes to like doing this like actual crocheting part, like going into my stitches, I can't do that without looking. And I remember I tried crocheting once as a kid. My birth mom tried to teach me, except her form of teaching is my form of teaching now, where I let people do it and then I only point out their failures. I don't tell them how not to fail. I just tell them that they failed and have them figure it out. And so I was watching her do it, and I was watching her start a chain. I never watched her do any single crochet, double crochet, and all that stuff. I just watched her chain. So I took it and I went downstairs, and I was like, okay, bet, I got it. And I just made a chain. That's all I did. I made a chain. And then I showed it to her, and she's like, yeah, okay. And then she's like, now like go back and start doing the crochets. And I'm like, and like I didn't say this out loud, but like in my head, I'm like, I thought this was a crochet. And I was genuinely confused. And I didn't have YouTube at the time because I'm like right on the border of millennials and Gen Z. So I'm like at that age before like YouTube was like easily accessible. So I was just like, I don't know what that is. So I undid the entire chain and I started the chain over again. And I just sat there and I'm like, I am confusion. I don't know what to do. And so now I've watched multiple YouTube videos. I know how to do single crochets, half double crochets, and double crochets. But I'm pretty sure, well, once you hit the double crochets, those two are the same. But I'm not sure if A, there is such thing as a triple crochet, and B, if it's the same thing as well, obviously it's not the same thing, but like I know, or not the same thing. Same thing is a bad choice of words. Similar than like the half double crochet and double crochet. But so I stopped crocheting after that. But my birth mom and her younger sister, they both crochet, and they're pretty good at it, to be honest. Like, my birth mom has made me a blanket. When I was a kid, she made me a blanket. I'm sorry if like I get really lost in thought, because usually whenever I'm doing creative stuff, my brain just like goes on autopilot, and sometimes it's hard for it to find words to make a sentence. But she made me a blanket when I was a kid, and I used it for a minute, and then it started to fall apart, so I had to throw it away. And so now I want to make my own blanket. It's just a basic pattern because I'm not good enough to do any of the special stuff. Not yet, at least, but once I get better, once I start progressing, getting more attributes in my skill tree, then I'm going to try making either better blankets or just stick to making clothes and hats and bracelets. But I'm probably gonna skip over most of the quiet parts when I'm just speaking, or when I'm not speaking, not just speaking. But I don't know. If you're watching this, let me know down in the comments what you'd like to hear me talk about whenever I do these crochet with me videos, because it's gonna be a while. I'm gonna be here for a while, so I'd like to have something to talk about, especially if I'm gonna be making it in like 6 feet worth of a blanket. I have I'm using an 8mm hook. I think this yarn only calls for a 6.5, but I need it to be able to see the gaps in the stitches, because I have bad eyes. Like, let's be honest, I have bad eyes, so it's hard for me to see the gaps in the stitches when I use the 6.5mm hook whenever I crochet with the hook that is called for. All my hooks are on my other table, and I don't feel like getting up to grab them. Speaking of not being able to see the stitches, I can't see the stitches. I can't see the next stitch. I found it. But I'm probably gonna get two or three more rows on here, depending on how long that it takes for me to do so. So if it's gonna be utter silence until then, I'll see how once I'm done. But if I find more stuff to talk about before then, I'll cut to there, and then I'll probably just have it all be sped up of me just crocheting. So I have the second row finally done. Also, this is almost as long as like my entire wingspan. Like, if I put it all the way back here, you can like actually see how wide this is. I made it so that like, because whenever I go like this, I just need it to be that long, because granted, it doesn't need to be as wide as my legs, so just wider than my shoulders is perfectly fine. And to be fair, it's still probably gonna be a little bit smaller in comparison to my bed, but it's probably not even gonna be used when I'm on my bed. It'll probably be used when I'm sitting in my chair, because it gets pretty cold in my room. But there's the second row of half double crochets done, and then I think I'm gonna do one more row, and then I'll probably call it for the night. I feel, never mind. Okay. Oh, I have finished the 4th row for the blanket. My arms are killing me, my body is tired, and my mind is weak. So I will be going to end the video. I will see y'all whenever I will start continuing on this blanket. Laters.